Boom, boom. How does it go?
And 3, and 2, and 1.
Oh, I was supposed to do that.
You want to try again?
Sure.
Okay. And 3, and 2, and 1.
Right.
That's wonderful, baby.
Okay.
What's up, and welcome to another episode of Talk Your Shift. I am Mel, and unfortunately, Dom could not join us today, but that's okay because we have the next best thing, which is my husband, Carlton. Say hello, Carlton.
Hello, Carlton.
Wonderful. I'm thank you for that. Thank you. I'm sure everyone appreciates it.
It's great.
Okay, so we are celebrating Halloween with you guys today, and if you are just listening to us, I am Velma, and Carlton is...
Arr! I'd be a pirate.
a pirate.
I probably should get an eye patch.
Or a handkerchief or something, like a thing to tie around your head.
Oh, actually, you know what? This is more steampunk than anything.
This definitely is steampunk.
I'm a steampunk pirate.
He's a steampunk pirate,
I left
y'all.
my clockwork parrot somewhere. It's my other... it's my other...
Lovely.
Right.
Okay, here we go. So we are going to jump right into it, and we're going to kick off our Halloween episode with some Halloweeny or Halloweenky questions. So, no, I just have one. Okay. What is the worst treat you can hand out for Halloween? Like, in your opinion, out of all the Halloweens that you've had. Like, what was, you were like, damn, this shit sucks.
Oh, that I got?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, you're telling people, don't hand this shit out to kids. Like, they deserve better. What do you got?
Damn, I don't really remember doing trick-or-treat and all that often. Let me think.
All right, well.
In the world of imagination, I feel like the worst thing you could give kids is like some version of those jelly beans, like the surprise jelly beans.
Are you talking about the Bean Boozled jelly beans?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
But like a different version of it. It'd be like a Kit Kat, but not a Kit Kat. And then it's got some random flavor inside.
Okay.
Something like that. I feel like that'd be the worst thing to give somebody, because they're like, oh, Kit Kat, and then they bite into it, and it's not chocolate. It's like some prunes or something. I don't know.
That sounds horrible and very creative. I was just going with the regular, like, candies that suck.
Oh, you just go be like...
Oh, yeah. Straight up, butterscotches. I can't stand them. All the...
Like Werther's Originals?
The butterscotches that were wrapped in that yellowy orange foil.
Oh, right.
Those are fucking terrible. Those are horrible. I used to get pissed off every time I got them. And
you didn't like the flavor?
no, I did not like the flavor. Oh. You want to impress me? Give me mini Snickers. Give me mini Reese's. Like the singular packs of Sour Patch Kids or Swedish Fish. Ooh. The boxes of the dots. The small boxes of dots.
You talking about the gummy ones?
Yes.
Oh.
Them shits get stuck to your teeth, but they were delicious. My favorite was the green one.
I thought you was talking about them tear it off the paper.
No, those are buttons. Those are called buttons. And those were also delicious tasting paper, I would have you know. God. I loved those. How long were the what did they used to give you, like a thing, like 2 for $1, and it was like a whole like roll in the plastic when you would go to the like corner store?
I didn't do them.
You didn't like those? Could you? Well, you're a texture kind of person, so I feel like
it's like
it didn't matter if it tasted
flavored.
Good.
You could taste the food coloring more than you could taste the sweetness of the sugar, and the whole thing is sugar.
I thought you were gonna say the whole thing is paper, which would also be correct. However, I thought it was delicious paper, and in my head, I definitely thought that all the different colors were different flavors, but they definitely weren't. They were just...
No, each one of the dyes has a very distinctive chemical flavor to it.
Wonderful. I can't deal with you. Yes. Okay. So then, what would you have
like the
wanted?
worst?
So we're switching from like, okay, so the worst candy to being like the best candy. Like, what would you have wanted to receive?
A box of Ghirardelli.
Well, what?
Ghirardelli or Godiva. the chocolate.
You bougie as hell. You like knocking on people's doors, just like, what kind of quality chocolate is this?
Yeah, no Godiva. All right, you see,
Trash. Just put it in the bag.
yeah, you know, if I did more trick or treating, I'd probably have more realistic
Did you
expectations.
really not trick or treat like that?
I mean, it probably happened like once or twice.
Really? Well, I mean, your parents worked a lot, so that does make sense.
Yeah, and you know, Granddad and Grandma weren't going to go knocking door to door to wait for us to go get candy from random strangers. That's not. Mm-mm.
You know, I never thought about that. Granddad wasn't into that kind of thing? Because of the stranger part or the walking part?
I don't know. Maybe we did that like once, but I don't think.
And he was just over it?
Yeah, I don't remember. Like, I'm just drawing a blank. What's like? Did y'all? I'm like, I might have been about this big.
All right.
Oh wait,
okay.
I think my hand just disappeared.
Your hand probably did
this
disappear.
big.
Yeah, and you can't remember?
Nah, I remember a Halloween outfit, like one of the Superman type things with the holes in the eyes.
Yeah.
And then like, but that was like grade school.
You talking about the old school mask that you couldn't even breathe in? I seen pictures.
They
of
had
those
the holes.
Yeah, but they were little holes.
Yeah.
Right? They were. You were sweating in there, right?
That's another story, but still, you know, the mask and the holes, and I think that was like for a school function, but
Really?
yeah,
How interesting.
didn't really do the trick or treating thing.
I'm learning this about you. Wow.
So,
I went
yeah.
trick or treating though, and that was fun.
What'd you look out for? Because
Oh.
I was looking for Godiva chocolate, but that's me as an adult, and that's, I mean, you know.
No, I definitely wanted because they had the individually wrapped Reese's that were in the yellow foil, the little cups. Those were what I was looking for. You're not familiar?
No, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking as an adult. You talking about what I want in my head.
No.
Fizz, the fizzy, the pop fizz, the pop.
You talking about the things in the wax?
No, the ones that you bite into them and they got the carbonated whatever and it just foams.
I've never eaten those.
Oh. I forgot what they call them.
I don't know what they're called.
Because they got the Warheads is the really spicy one. And then the sour, what was it called? Sour Heads? No, I don't remember the name of them. They were really sour.
Is that the same thing as crybabies? No, crybabies are different.
Oh, yeah!
No, it's crybabies, and then there was...
Yo,
and then
I
there
think,
was the other ones.
I think Crybabies was the sourest you could get back in the day.
That's wild, because they definitely have, like, tremendously, like, just moved the line. They have... like balls, like this big, where people are like, it's supposed to be the most sour candy.
Oh, like the challenge type deal?
Yes, and you want to know something? Like, that shit looks terrible. People are crying. People are drooling. This one lady's eye was twitching. And yet still, I'm like, kind of want to order those and give it a shot. I don't care if I make a face or not. I want to try it. They look, I mean... You know I'm going to complain, but like...
there ain't long-term side effects.
There shouldn't be. Thank you. All right. So, moving on. So, we decided, since Dom is not with us, we're going to do like a coupley thing. And so, I'm going to go first, and then he's going to go, and we're going to go back and forth. Is sexy Halloween pickup lines... But they're not really sexy. They're actually a little corny and kind of cringy, which is why I wanted to do them. Because cringy is also fun. It's fun to be uncomfortable, right, babe?
Always.
Always.
Fantastic.
All right. Are you ready?
Sure.
Here we go.
You did this.
I did do this.
Okay.
I'm taking full responsibility for this.
Am I going first or you go first?
I'll go first. I'll go
Okay.
first. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm light as a feather, and I can see you're stiff as a board.
That
can't
skeleton over there wanted to ask for your number, but he didn't have the guts, so here I am.
Okay. Oh my god. I'm no vampire, but I sure know how to suck.
I've got some wicked feelings brewing for you.
Oh, it's so cute. Are you a monster? Because you look franken fine.
For forget your broom, ride me instead.
I knew you were gonna pick that one. Something told me I knew you were gonna pick that one. I felt it in my core. I knew it. All right, hold on. I have to shift. That sounded like That sounded like I said I have to shit.
You gonna leave that in there?
Oh my god, I have to shift. No, that's for the behind the scenes footage. Oh my god. That was mad funny. I saw your face like pause. I saw your face pause and you were like really?
I was like, all right, we're gonna pause again. Okay.
Oh man. So, moving on to our first segment. Officially, I guess. Or technically that was our first segment. Moving on to our second segment, which is our beloved meme segment. Yay!
I'm ready.
If you are new here, I like to scroll the interwebs for insightful and thought-provoking conversation starter memes. And so we're going to go straight to it. The path isn't a straight line. It's a spiral. You continually come back to the things you thought you understood and see deeper truths. And this is awoken shit is the tag. All right, so what do you think?
I mean, they say that the like progress isn't linear. And so along with that is kind of like not just progress, but like our understanding of who we are and what we're here for. Like it's also not linear and just about the same way. So it's like we'll have an idea and then maybe it'll get refined. Maybe we'll have to rework it. You know, as we come to understand like deeper truth, I feel like we don't have a choice but to like reassess. Sometimes it looks like we're going backwards, but ultimately, you know, it is for progression, but now that's our understanding of the path, or?
I mean, you could take it however you want. You could take this wherever you want to go. It's your interpretation and like how you feel or your thoughts on this particular quote. So if you have like something.
Yeah, no, I feel like it, and the more important thing to consider is like where it's relevant, and I feel like the relevance part is for growth and progress.
Okay. Like you said a little bit ago about that sometimes it feels like it's a step back, like how I like in my mind you never like have those moments. It's just like, well, I'm gonna deal with this, and then you just move forward accordingly. But like, were there ever moments where you thought like, holy shit, I thought I got over this thing, or I feel like I'm taking a few steps back?
Oh, like as you were breaking it down, what I was thinking was sometimes you have to just take a step back to secure your footing. And then sometimes you kind of got to take a step back to make sure you get a bigger view. So that way you know you're not going someplace where you're going to have trouble getting out of, or the thing that you wanted is over there. And then you're like, oh, I don't know how that happened. So I feel like sometimes like a step back is necessary to just figure things out, assess, and make sure that you kind of at where you need to be.
But how do you take a step back then, especially if it's something that triggers an emotional response or puts you in a state of like, I don't want to say panic, but definitely you feel off, you know, like how do you center yourself to reassess, to try to see the bigger picture? Because we all talk about, you know, or at least the people that I've listened to and stuff, we discuss like taking the step back to see the bigger picture, right? But sometimes you're so like hyper focused because of the state that you're in. Obviously, you and I have had this conversation a million times, but you know, I guess what does that look like for you?
Like if you're already triggered.
Yeah.
what I would say for that is practice.
Right? I know. Right?
It's one of those things where it's like, if you don't, if you don't practice the thing, if you're in a situation where your experience with this matter is tested, then you're not gonna, even if you understand all the concepts, like, you're just not gonna do so good.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So patience is one of those things that you practice. Tolerance is one of those things that you practice. And not taking things personally is one of those things that you practice.
I know, it's so annoying.
But I feel like, and that's only because, like, we started talking about, like, being triggered or activated where you're feeling some type of way. And so it's usually that, like, we're being transgressed upon in some way.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, will set us off, whether it's someone insulting our intelligence or our physique or our relatives or us specifically, like, just, you, whatever. It's like, it feels like a personal attack.
Yeah.
And then if you take the personal attack personally, then it's like, oh my God, like, then you get irritated and angry. But, like, if, like, someone, for instance, somebody says, hey, you, and you'd be like, what? And they'd be like, you Mexican? I was like, oh, they wasn't talking to me. I'm Puerto Rican. I almost had to fucking fight. And they'd be like, you! And I'd be like, yeah. I was like, I'm not. That's you talking to somebody else. And so if you decide to take it personally, this person called you out and then said you was Mexican, and not you Puerto Rican, but, if someone decided to do that thing, and you'd be like, nah, we're going to have to fight. Like, I mean, it's not like you said I was a Dominican, but, and then you're about to go over there. But if you just take it as if, like, the person doesn't know what they're talking about, they're lying, or they're just misinformed, whatever it is, it's like, you wasn't talking to me, you was talking to somebody else. You don't, like, things that happen, you don't necessarily have to take personally. And it's just a matter of skill at that point, like experience and just time with it to skill. And it's one of those things where, like, you can have someone directly come at you like, and try to, like they're verbally attack you in your face or doing a thing. With enough practice, you'll be able to understand that even though the person's in your face, they are not a threat. And you'll just be able to sit there and just watch them. But obviously, if you recognize them as a threat, you could take care of it that way as well. But as far as the patience goes, like, if I wasn't feeling safe, I'd say something. But if I knew that the person, or if I'm fast enough, whatever, if the person wasn't really, like, I'd just be like, wow, this person's really upset. And I wouldn't necessarily take that thing personally, because this person's screaming, but I know it's nothing I did, so, Like, if you getting called out for real, or somebody's attacking one of your family members, and it's one of those things. But that's a different type of situation. That's not necessarily a trigger. It's a situation where you have to step in and do something, but it's not necessarily based off of some past childhood trauma.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. You know what's so funny is...
like a threat assessment type situation,
Yeah, you know what's so interesting is that I recently... I think I touched, like, just a little bit of it with you, like, a few days ago, when I was saying how there's a part of me that gets nervous about confrontation because I interpret confrontation or disagreement sometimes as a threat, and that it can turn into physical, like a physical altercation, and there's a threat of violence. Even in very small instances, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe a reason why that is because as a child, I was threatened. You know what I mean? Like, we're all, well, not all of us. I'm not going to sit here and say all of us were threatened. I'm going to say in my childhood, like, acting up, disagreeing, talking back, being perceived as disrespectful, like, questioning, those type of things were met with a physical threat. Even if you weren't, going to get hit in that moment, there was a threat in the back of your mind because you knew, like, oh, if I push this, I'm gonna get my ass beat. And so I feel like that transferred into like just all interactions moving forward. So like even a disagreement, like even something as calm as just like, oh, I don't agree or whatever, I can sometimes like take that as like, oh no, like I hope that this doesn't spiral into a violent situation. You know what I mean? And it's like weird because when I really think about it, like sometimes when I'm in that space, I do feel like a child, or I do feel like I'm smaller than I actually am. And I'm not even like, guys, I'm not tall. I'm 5'3" and a quarter. I'm gonna take that quarter. So, but I'm not like itty bitty either. You know what I mean? And I feel like in any instance, I feel like I would defend myself physically. However, there's like that feeling of, I guess, being small. And you know what? I'm sorry, I'm just having all these like epiphanies right now. This happens all the time, guys. Where like now I understand like when people are like, I felt so small, I felt so whatever, like in that particular moment, like I would feel small.
Right.
Like I'm not going to be able to defend myself, you know? They're going to. And the thing is, I'm not even scared that they're going to kill me. I'm just scared I'm going to get hit. Doesn't that make no, that like makes no sense.
It makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
It's a trauma response.
It's a childhood trauma response.
There you go.
You're so funny. I mean, have you ever like felt similarly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I had to take my power back.
Yeah.
It was a whole process. You know, when you grow up with like a, what is it, authoritarian?
Authoritarian, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you're dealing with like an authoritarian parent, you kind of figure out how to move around spaces without, you know, drawing too much attention to yourself, and you have a trained response for interactions where you're trying to keep a low profile, and you know don't and try to stay small, like sound wise and just presence wise. You know,
Yeah.
because if you don't attract attention, you should be okay. So you know, and most of what you get from those situations where you have like a what is it? Well, to handle the situations,
Yes,
either
okay.
the emotional response from the situation or the emotional response to the situation. So we develop different coping mechanisms. So like I learned to be quiet, and so that's why most of the time you don't hear me like speaking or moving around. I just show up because my coping mechanism was to like camouflage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I learned how to that was my coping mechanism became like an acquired skill,
Yeah.
you know?
I believe it.
And
Still
then
sneaking around this house. I never hear him. I never hear him. To this day. To this day.
be hobbling around in silence.
Because you move like really quietly. And then when I jump up because I don't fucking hear you come in the room, I'm wrong.
You jump up when I'm in the room already and you pop in. Like you pop in on me and they go, huh! And I'm like, I was here first. What are you doing?
It's because whatever. I just don't be hearing it. Anyways.
Yes, coping mechanisms become like acquired skills. But I feel like once, like, to achieve it as a skill, you kind of have to own the situation that got you to that point.
Okay.
Otherwise, it just kind of stays something that kind of holds you back instead of, like, you haven't figured out how to make that thing serve you.
Okay.
Maybe those are the wrong words. I seem like a fucking villain or something.
I don't know if that really sounds like a villain type of thing unless you're using it for villain type behavior.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? So you're just using what you got. Okay.
So like say for instance, as part of the coping thing that you do to handle your aggressors and the family in childhood, you have that almost like that that precognition thing where it's like you try to read a person and figure out what they're going to say. It's something that like empaths kind of do. Like they're kind of feeling into what a person's going to say.
Yes.
And feel, and so it's almost like a hypersensitivity.
Yes.
And so say for instance you decide that you're going to own this skill. You'll have better relationship with people. You'll be able to communicate better. You don't necessarily have to finish their sentences. You kind of have understanding. They say the thing, you confirm the thing, and you could kind of like, it helps you read the room better, whether
Okay.
it's one person or many people. But like, that's you taking control of it. That's you owning it.
Yeah.
That was your coping mechanism, and now you've switched it over into a strength. That same coping mechanism, if you don't like own it, what ends up happening is you have this superpower, but it's like twisted. So you'll be able to read the room and you'll think that the room is against you. Or you'll be able to kind of understand what a person thinks, but you'll still get it wrong in a way that makes you bad or feel some badness. So it's almost like you have the skill, but it's just a little off.
Okay. Like reading into something a little bit too much.
Right, but in the wrong way. Like, not reading, because you read into something like, and you're getting your perception or understanding of it. But what if that perception was wrong?
Yeah.
So it's not that you're reading it too much. You're just reading it incorrectly. Whereas if you owned that coping mechanism and you were able to resolve the trauma behind it, that's where it switches from being just a coping mechanism that's something that kind of has you triggered to over to like part of your skill set that helps you strive or succeed.
Yeah.
So I feel it's like the twisted side. So like all of the things that we do to figure out how to cope with whatever realities we're dealing with as children, it switches over to part of a skill set. But I feel like whether that skill set is complete or incomplete, like whether it's like a refined thing, like we're using this to just go about our lives and have a better experience, or if we're using it and we're getting this worse experience because we have this skill or this power. So it's like we're getting beat up, we're getting called out, we're getting frowned at, and it's like, well, why are all these bad things happening to me? It's because I'm using this power incorrectly. Whereas if I was using this power right, it would just be better. I wish I could give better examples, though.
I mean, I feel like I actually have a good example of that. Like, possibly, correct me if I'm wrong. Remember when you said I have an incredible skill of, like, connecting the dots?
Oh, yeah.
But connecting the dots in a way that became overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, oh my God, this is attached to this, is attached to this, is attached to this. And then I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably...
Yeah, so it's a great superpower to have. It's part of the coping mechanisms you developed as a child, but because you want to see all the things, and that's great. But once you get over into past that, then it's not like I have all of these things. It's not overwhelming. It's like I see how all of these things are connected, and that's great. Like, it's not that you read into it more after that. You see all of the things still, but you're only seeing how it can work towards your benefit or help you in some way instead of it just being too much.
Yes, I see.
I
see.
like that one.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I like this. So, okay.
Almost there.
Is there something that you, like, have had to revisit recently?
Recent?
I mean, you could say this year, maybe, I guess. Excuse me. That, like, you saw it one way, and then it popped up again. And then you were like, whoa, and a new, like, layer just, like, opened up and unlocked, and you're like, wow, achievement. Coins. Like in a video game.
Oh.
You think I'm crazy?
No, I'm thinking about the question.
Okay, sorry.
Layers, achievements. Oh, actually, there's one thing. So after I hurt my leg, my hip back, leg hip back,
Like,
um, I kind of like dealing with pain on like a constant, like dealing with constant pain. Um, I kind of had an understanding before that like you don't really, I like I'm trying to like I didn't have an understanding before.
got it. Okay.
And so it's kind of like being introduced to constant pain. When you first get here, there's like part of the brain that's like, we should be able to do something to make this go away. And there ain't shit that I was able to do to make the pain go away.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had to come to terms with the reality that no matter what I try, pain might be my new normal. Period. Like I had to come to that, figure that out pretty quick. Because I know enough about anatomy and physiology and movement and positioning the body to theoretically adjust my body into a position where I should be comfortable. Like the yoga teaching and the yoga classes and instruction, all, anatomy and physiology, Tuina, like all the things that I've done studied. I should be able to position my body in a way where I'm not in pain. And what I had to come to terms with was that's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a thing where I'm not necessarily used to being wrong. And I had to figure out this whole thing where it's like, is this really what it is? Like, I just got to deal with it. So it's there's layers to that in multiple ways where I had to address a whole belief system that, I should be able to position my body in a way that's comfortable. Like that's something that I believed before I got hurt that I just had to kind of come to terms with, where it's just like, oh, well, I don't even know what I'm going to do with myself now.
Yeah.
So that was a very like solid smack in the face type thing. And I've kind of had to revisit it a couple of times, because the first time I was like, I can't position my body to feel comfortable. And then the second part of it was that, like, after about a week or two, it's like, maybe this thing isn't temporary. And then at that point in time, I just decided to think of it as a permanent thing, because it'd just be easier for me to deal with the situation if I'm not constantly waiting for the pain to go away.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the pain would go away and I'd be like, oh. And then I'd wake up the next morning and I have to crawl to the bathroom and I'd be like, oh. So I just decided to be like, well, if the pain ain't going to go away, this is my new normal. And so I've had to cycle back to that belief system. Like that whole, it's like a couple of belief systems kind of linked together.
Yeah.
And so dealing with chronic pain, and I use the word chronic, but it, it's more than a couple, anything more than a couple of days. Like once it got past a couple of days, I was like, I know I shouldn't be using the word chronic, but I feel like this shit's going to be here for a while. And so I just kind of started thinking of it as chronic pain, even though chronic pain suffer for long periods of time.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm going to be this is my team now. I only been here a short while, but I'm representing.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't represent too much because I haven't been here for that long.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know if that properly answers the question, but it's a couple of things linked to that belief and that understanding about who I am and what my reality is, and
I mean, you take a lot of pride in like the physical, the body. We do our best to take care of our bodies, so of course, like, this is gonna hit you and you're gonna revisit it a couple of times while you're going through this, as like shitty as it is, Going over it. I'm sure you were reviewing it in your head a couple of times of just like the experience and like what your body used to do in comparison to what your body can do now, because even before you were in this state, you were comparing what your body used to do to what it could do before you got injured.
I think that's a midlife crisis thing where it's just like, back in my day.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Because you're not old. You're not old.
I know. I just move like it. It's okay.
I mean, you hobble around. But
I know I can hobble around really fast.
you can hobble around really fast. However, you shouldn't be hobbling around so fast. Slow down your hobbling, sir. But yeah, no, that's very interesting. No, when it comes to this particular quote, I'm just like, yo, I feel like when I talk to you about things, I'm revisiting like stuff all the time and seeing it like in a different way, you know, just like with my response to confrontation, you know, I had a different understanding of it. And I feel like as time progresses and I interact with more people, I'm going to interpret it again. Like it's going to come back because it's played such a big role in my life as far as standing up for myself or questioning authority or just questioning in general. I seem to be coming back to that particular lesson. Like, and so I'm just like, oh, I'll see you again, like, in a little while. Because it's just one of those things that comes back, you know?
No, you can work on it.
Yeah, no, I am working on it. I am definitely working on it. I'm not calling for any more. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we can get it to stop looping.
You
want to stop looping?
Of course I wanted to get it to stop looping. However, I can't, you know, things are gonna thing. You know, they're gonna do. So I just have to kind of take it one step at a time at this point. Mm-hmm. You know, when it comes to all that. But anyways, that was lovely. It was a lovely conversation. Thank you for sharing. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
For the... Dun, 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 am I the asshole? Oh my God. Anyways.
Did I do that right?
You did fantastic, my love. You did fantastic. Let's see. This is just, it's relationship advice, but we're just going to ask if, like, this husband is the asshole, essentially.
Oh, wow.
So, my husband, 44 male, has me, 35 female, pay for everyday tasks. Hello, first time posting, so be gentle. My 35 female husband, 44 male, is a good man, but whenever he does the dishes, folds laundry, or goes to the store, he says I have to pay for that with sexual favors, i.e. BJ's, sex in general. If I don't, he gets all pouty and sulks for a bit. For example, today we were attending our nephew's birthday party, and we needed to get a gift. I was more than willing to go to the store, but my husband said, I'll go get it, no worries. So he goes and comes back and tells me, now you gotta pay up, while grabbing himself. Ugh. This isn't normal, right? I know I'm probably not making things better by just doing it because he gets all bent out of shape if I don't, and I do it to shut him up. It's not like we don't do sexual things normally. Like, this isn't the only time he gets some, but I'm tired of him using this as a tactic to just perform basic functions around the house or tasks that needed to be done anyway. I'm beginning to think this is borderline abuse. And then, let's see. So, they updated and said that, not defending or condoning his behavior, but there were a couple of questions, like, so she says that it doesn't happen every time he does a task or a chore, but it does happen pretty regularly. And it doesn't help that she does give in to the situation. This is not a turn on. She said, I'm not really attracted to his advanced tactics usually. When we first started dating, got married, yes, I was attracted to him, but it has gone down in recent years. And then the third is, I recognize this is now coercion, so I will be having a long chat with him. However, he doesn't respond very well to criticism. And then she is, at the end of this, it looks like she is considering divorce. So, I mean,
that should kind of get old.
That's some nasty shit. Like,
be like, oh, can you pass me the water? Oh, here you go. Suck it later.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, so I think he an asshole.
Thank you, babe. Thank you. Wonderful. Because I'm just like, you're a grown man. You don't need a blowjob to get the dishes done or to vacuum. It's a nice little treat, but you don't need it in order to get something done.
No, it's just one of those things where it's like you. Really?
Mm-hmm. People crazy.
Well, maybe you'll figure it out after the divorce.
You think?
No. Some people fucked up, and they just did.
Oh my god.
She wouldn't be going for a divorce if you figured it out, right?
That's fair. Yeah. But I'm like, it's just the fact that she said he can't take criticism also is just like, ugh, this conversation is gonna be.
Yep.
It's gonna be fucked up. But.
Gonna be fire.
He's the asshole for sure. She is just trying to get things done in her house. And I'm just like, that just seems like a lot of work for something that doesn't require as much work. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you're doing it like this, it might seem like work because you got to pay.
No. I'm saying, like, the oral sex performing is the harder work than folding laundry or doing the dishes, in my opinion.
I mean, if she's dealing with him, yeah, it would work. If you having fun, you're having fun. But if you're dealing with a jackass like that, I guess yeah.
It is work.
Yeah.
I feel bad for her, though. And there's a lot of women that, like, go through that kind of stuff. You know? Terrible, terrible ass partners.
She thought he was kidding in the beginning.
You know what? Probably. Because that's something I would definitely have been like, he's so funny. And then he's just standing there naked being like, oh.
I just vacuumed.
Oh my god. That's
just terrible. Around
terrible.
a circle. I just vacuumed, baby. Come get it.
Yo!
I just did dishes. Mm-hmm.
That's horrible.
Oh,
and that's
man.
also really irritating because, like, what if he's doing it multiple times a day? Like, think about the things you get done in a house. You telling me if he does the laundry and does the dishes and, I don't know, goes and puts gas in your car, she's got to give him 3, like, BJs or, like, 2 BJs and, like, a sex session or however combination.
Here's the thing.
At that point, I'm just like, can we just do a handy?
Nah, what she need to do is get herself a friend that's one of them soul snatchers and just be like, I got this problem. And then after you got a snow snatch a couple times, you know, you ain't got no energy to do no chores. Then she don't got to worry about it.
But then it's like he's getting rewarded because then he don't have to get no chores. And then he's still getting his oral sex or his sexy time. I mean, he's comatose, but, like...
Can't cause no trouble that way.
I guess. Oh, my God. I don't know. I just feel like he's getting rewarded for
The
terrible
divorce
behavior.
is cheaper. Oh, no, it ain't.
I know. I was about to say, divorces are expensive.
Yeah,
Don't you need to get a lawyer and shit?
Yeah, that's why it's probably better for her to just do it that way. It's hard going to give out eventually.
Oh, my God. That's terrible. If that's the case, I'm going to the craziest sex shop and getting a Suck Dick 3000 type of, like, you load it up, you lube it up, and just, like, plop it on him.
Like, dishes. Go sit down.
Oh my god. No, it's making me think of those mechanisms that they have for, like, couples that are, like... out of, you're looking at me crazy.
What?
Though couples that are, like, don't live in the same country or in the same state. I know. I'm really trying to take me seriously, Carlton. I'm just take me seriously. I have this hair. It's sticking to my lip.
You're doing great.
Thank you. So it's like those mechanisms for, like, couples where there's, like, a vagina thing and then theirs is attached to, like, a dildo thing. It's like a mechanic thing, and it's attached to, like, your computer or something like that. And you can, like, match. I did not know
that was a thing.
You can match the pace.
It sounds futuristic enough, but it also, for where we're at in technology with those...
I feel like that shit glitches. There ain't no way that's 100%.
I don't know.
Like,
that might be where we at in technology, but I don't know. I haven't seen it, so...
No, I don't know. Maybe it was just a prototype, but I definitely saw that shit. I definitely saw that they were, and this was a couple of years ago where they were working on it. So maybe they got the glitches out. But could you imagine?
No, because they got the sex dolls that could plug into the computer and do all sorts of things. They got the ones that plug into the USB, the toys for men and women that like you hook up to the computer and it'll do a whole fucking sequence.
What does that even mean? Sequence.
It does, like, you know, for the dildos, they gyrate, they pulsate, they gyrate, pulsate, squirm, whatever, and you can
squirm.
I don't know. They're like
ain't nothing squirming in me. Let me tell you something. Squirm.
They move. They did the thing.
Yes. Okay. Squirm.
You don't remember the beginning with the movie?
If you're talking
another teen movie,
I know exactly that. Yep. I
and
know
the thing
exactly.
fell out, and it was like
yes, in the
flopping.
cake. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That shit was like this.
It was like squirming.
Yes, I remember.
Okay, so pulsate, gyrate, squirm. They got the beads.
I'm not confused about that one.
And
I'm
hook saying it up to about a USB and
yeah, but what I'm saying is, what sequence is there for like the female genitalia thing happening? Like, what sequence is it? Like, do they start coughing and it squeezes tighter? Like, how does that? Because you said that they can plug the dolls in and there's a sequence. So what are the women dolls doing? If the men doll penises are doing gyrating and pulsing and wiggling, squirming, then what is a woman doing?
I just
what sequence is that?
I don't know, because I haven't looked at sex women products. Women sex, men pleasure sex.
That's fair.
products.
I do know that when they first started coming out,
they
were like $5,000.
Jesus.
Isn't that insane? $5,000 fucking dollars.
Have you seen the sex dolls?
They look good. You can design them. You can design them like you can.
You can plug those into USB too.
You can. That's what I thought we were talking about.
Yeah.
I thought we weren't talking about just like a toy or a bottom
so
half.
So do a sequence.
What sequence though?
I don't
with the
know.
Doll? Okay, now I'm gonna go Google this. And now the FBI is gonna be like, this chick is sick.
I just figured they do the sequence because the other ones got a sequence. Them things should do a sequence.
Yeah.
They vibrate and pulsate. You got them little fucking.
Oh, you know what? Maybe
and
it
they
does
vibrate and pulsate like different frequencies and shake the table, and you're like, what sequence? And I'm like, I don't know. It vibrates or something.
Yeah,
or maybe
the
tightness
so maybe
changes.
It squeezes. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, you're
they
right.
vibrate
You're right.
too.
I get it. I know, but in my head, I'm like, men don't need vibration because you have the slip and sliding thing. That's fine. Why do you need also vibration? What? I mean, I know there's
That's like saying, why you need the slip and slidey thing? You got vibration. Just vibrate the little thing right there.
No. Listen, it's different because of the clitoris being totally separate. Like, so that's why a buzz is necessary. But I'm saying with a man, like, I understand now. I'm thinking about it because I'm like, oh yeah, cock rings, they vibrate, and then I'm like, oh, do sounding rods vibrate?
I'm sure they got vibrating ones. I wouldn't. The Chrominator 2000 has some vibrate. I don't know.
Oh my god, not the Chrominator.
like Apple Pen.
Are you saying?
I don't know.
Excuse me. Are you saying an Apple Pen?
No, I'm saying it charges like an Apple Pen. You just put it on.
I mean, yes, because like the ones, and let me just throw something out here for a second because I have qualms about it a little bit. A lot of the toys, the bullets, some of the bullets and stuff like that. I don't know how I feel about the battery ones because that's a pain in the ass if it dies in the middle of a session. What I was saying was that I don't like the magnetic toys, like that have the charger and the two little dots. That charge it, because there have been plenty of times where I thought it was charging and connected and one of those was just off by like just like a little bit and it was dead. So I'm just like, what?
When they charge and they got a little light that come on?
I know, I realized that after the fact.
Oh.
But I just say for convenience sake, let's just plug it in. Let's just plug it in. Or batteries. That's really disappointing, though, when the batteries are starting to go. I mean, I know you, like...
Now, is this... Because we had the little break. Now, is this... We still talking about the same thing. Like, we got the... You got the vibrating things.
Yes.
So you're saying that Instead of having the little magnetic clippy clips,
Yeah.
that you would rather it plug in,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that's what I was saying. You got the sounding thing with like an Apple Pen, and you just shove it in there and be like,
That's not charging anything though. What are you talking about? Oh, that it
if it
plugs in.
vibrates.
What are you saying?
We talking about vibrating toys, right?
Yes.
What I'm saying is because we was also talking about sounding rods and all of.
Yes, but I'm saying battery, cable, or magnetic cable charger. And I'm saying I prefer a charger you can just plug in because those magnetic things have fucked me up multiple times. That's what I'm
So you
saying.
end up have a connector, like an actual connector, and then you plug it in, and it's a bad cable.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
You know why it's a bad cable? Because it kept yoinking on the thing. You know what happens if you have a magnetic thing? It don't yoink. It just come loose.
Okay, all right. That's fair enough. Or you could just go old school and just get one of those regular massagers that plug into the wall and it's just like bees, where you're like about to die. Those are fun every once in a while. What?
Sure.
No, because what's that the wand, right? Isn't that what it's called? The wand? The big one, and it's like, it's a type of massager, but it's known for being like a sex toy, and it's like this big, and it's got it's like a white top.
Oh,
like it's
and
like
it
that
got
rubber.
a little buzzy thing, and the top looked like Saturn or whatever with the ring. There's like a little ring around the center.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm just gonna Google this really quick so you can see what the fuck I'm
Well,
talking
like a
about.
really long microphone. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Yes. That's genius. You're genius. So, anyways, I don't remember how we got into this.
I don't know either.
However, coercion is bad. And he is an asshole. And yeah,
That's some childish behavior.
it is childish behavior and it's very sad. And so I hope that she's in a better place now as far as like she's also being sexually satisfied because I can't imagine like having to slave away over this one penis to like also not be satisfied because she literally says I'm not attracted to him like that. Like, or I'm less attracted to him.
I mean, you doing some shit like that. That's kind of unattractive. It's an unattractive thing to be doing. I don't know. Maybe somebody likes it. Maybe he thought she liked it. She just gotta be like, nah.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that's what she did. That's what it is. That's why they gonna file papers.
Probably. Good luck, lady. All right. Anyways, all right. Lovely, lovely. So, we are moving
I just
on.
realized I wasn't that close to the microphone.
It's okay. I can hear
Did
you.
this table
though.
come forward a little bit?
No, it did not. It did not.
I feel like the table was moved.
All right. Maybe it was. I don't remember it being, but it's okay. Yeah. All right. So, last but not least, we are going to do our affirmation. Okay, here we go. Hope this helps you out. All right? With an open mind and willing heart, I approach each day as a new opportunity. You know? I just felt it was like it fit with it in because the lessons
Can you
come
read that
back-
one again?
Yeah. Okay.
Let me hear it one more time.
Yeah, okay.
There's a key word there.
With an open mind and a willing heart, I approach each day as a new opportunity.
As a new opportunity?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, like, if the path, if it's not straight, right, and you circle back around to, like, things that you've seen before, like, you just take it, like, one day at a time. And, like, if that happens to be the day that you're revisiting this, lesson, then good luck, and I hope, you get something more from it. Because I've said it before, because you've said it to me, is if I'm going to suffer, I'm going to make it worth my while and make sure that, like, I'm not suffering for no fucking reason.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah. So now I suffer less. I still suffer. and not silently. That's you. That's you. Suffering in silence.
Yeah.
But yes, so that's our affirmation. We hope that you like it. Okay, so we are now coming to our conclusion of our episode. Carlton, thank you for filling in for Dom.
Anytime.
Anytime. Say hi in the comments. Tell Carlton he did a good job and that you want him to come back.
I feel like a substitute teacher or something.
A substitute teacher? Never. Not a substitute teacher.
Like a PA. I don't know.
What's a PA? A physician's assistant?
What's the one they sit in the back of the classroom? Did they call him PA too?
Is that a PA?
I don't know. All right. Before we go off on another tangent.
I know, before this, I mean, we've actually done pretty good this episode. Dom and I tend to go on random tangents all the time. But anyways, do you want them to follow you on your social medias?
I'll start doing something.
Okay.
One day.
So what is your Insta? Do you know what your Insta is?
I'll post it in the comments.
I will tag him so you can go to his social media.
I have to make a social media presence.
It would be good.
All
I
right.
think you would do good.
I'll post more things.
Wonderful. Okay, so thanks for watching, and if you could do us a favor, can you just like, comment, subscribe? You don't gotta. I can't think of some sort of violent act to do to the subscribe button. That's usually Dom's job. So just delicately, firmly grasp it. No, just tap that subscribe. We are Talk Your Shift on all social media platforms, including our Patreon. And that is just $5. Show them.
This many.
$5 a month, y'all. So come through and see some funny behind the scenes footage along with extra episodes that we release once a month. Yeah, so let's get out of here. All right. See you later.
Bye, everybody.